Have you taken a look at the new model 2024 Jeep Wranglers yet? Well, we have this 2024 Rubicon X 4xe here in the studio today, so that's what we're gonna do. Yes, we do have the new model 2024 Jeep Wrangler here in the studio. And this is a Rubicon X 4xe. Now, if you haven't heard what the Rubicon X Trim level is, it's basically for those Jeep owners who are adding all the optional upgrades. So Jeep went ahead and created this higher trim level, and hey, you get more options and there's less boxes to click. Now, as we walk around this 2024 model, there's not a lot of differences until we get to the front. And this grille, this new 2024 grille, is quite a bit different. It looks squattier. If anything, it might even look a little wider. Now, squattier, it definitely is. It's a shorter grille overall, and Jeep has put a plastic trim piece now down underneath. Now, we're guessing it's just to give you extra clearance for those who are gonna mount a winch and the winch wiring. On the 2023 and older models, that winch is gonna be right up against the grille, and it makes it tough to pull the grille out. Now, as far as wider, these are not any wider than the earlier models. It looks kind of wider just because we have that shorter grille, and then the slats are quite a bit wider. And in between each slat, we have some extra grating. And this is gonna give extra cooling. Now, Jeep says they've done this to add that extra cooling just to help out with the new tow rating. That's right, there's a new higher tow rating. More on that later. Now, as far as the looks itself, we've heard people on both sides saying, well, they like it, or some people don't, and it's definitely subjective. Well, we're just kind of in the middle. It still looks like a Jeep, but because it gives us better cooling and that helps out with that new tow rating, we're definitely in favor. Now, nestled up here in the grille is the forward camera, and these come standard on the Rubicon X. Now, as an option, this one also has that forward sprayer to keep that lens nice and clean. And first time we've ever had one in the studio that we can play with, and I think this would be really helpful for those wet and muddy Pacific Northwest trails. Now, unfortunately, there's not one on the rear camera, and we think those would be really nice for those long, dry, and dusty trails where your camera gets all dusted out. Now, this Jeep has spec'd out the optional winch and winch mounting plate. And it's nice to see that Jeep is staying with quality, and they're going with the worn Xeon 8,000-pound winch. But what looks different here is this winch mounting plate it's rotated or tilted the winch forward at an angle. Now, that does give us more clearance here between the winch and the grille, but it just seems odd. And when the tech gears in my head start going, on your normal winch, you've got your bolts loaded in shear, and as we tilt it forward, not only are those bolts gonna be in shear, but they're gonna be in tension. It just seems strange, but Jeep must have had a reason to do that. And then there's a redesign of the steel bumper group with its massive bumper-ettes that stick way the heck out there. I mean, maybe Jeep had a reason why they did it this way, but it's something that once you see it, you just can't unsee it. Now, as we move away from this redesigned front end and we go down the side, it's pretty much JL business as usual. But you're gonna notice it's missing that mast antenna. They've now moved the antenna up into the windshield. Well, now as a bonus, that means no more bent antennas or ripped off antenna mounts out on the trail. But because they've added this to the windshield, we've also added cost to the windshield. And hey, it's a Jeep thing. We know how often we're gonna be replacing windshields on our JLs and JTs. Now, one thing to note is that the flares and hardtop are color matched, and that is standard on the Rubicon X, as is the full LED light package. And these are the brand new aluminum wheels for the 2024 model year. These are the top of the line wheels that Jeep offers, and these are also standard on the Rubicon X. Now, speaking of the color matched hardtop, this Jeep has the optional Sky One Touch. And yes, there are some options you can still add to your Rubicon X, and one is the Sky One Touch hardtop. You hit that button and the center slides all the way back, giving that open air feeling to all 4 occupants inside. Now, one of the cool things about this hardtop is we can come around to the back, and then we have two latches inside. I'm gonna pop those open, and this side panel comes right out. Now, another thing to note on the Rubicon X, along with the high altitude and the Rubicon 392 models, they come with thicker carpeting, acoustic front glass, and extra sound deadening foam around the windshield. And this all helps to reduce noise. Then there's the 7 mic array for the hands-free phone calls. And Jeep claims that you're going to get up to a 15 decibel increase in clarity on hands-free phone calls. So any calls while blazing down the road or the trail should sound better than ever. Climbing inside, right away we'll notice the seats are now power adjustable. And for some, this is a huge upgrade, and this is standard on the Rubicon X. So if you're one who likes power adjustable seats, well, I gotta say, these are pretty comfortable. So now let's take a quick closer look at the new 12-inch Uconnect touchscreen. So we've got our home button, and right now it's set with the maps on one side and our audio on the other. Then we can tap on our media page. Then we can go right to our climate control, and then navigation. Of course, that's our full page maps. And then your phone, and this is where you'd want to pair into it. Then we have our vehicle information. So first up is settings, then our controls, and that's going to include both the front and the rear view camera. Then our dashboard, which has got the off-road pages. And then being that this is a 4xe, we have our e-hybrid page. Then we have our apps page, and of course, this 12-inch touchscreen has full apps functionality. Now, we could do a whole video just on this new 12-inch Uconnect touchscreen, and if that's something you'd like to see, leave that down in the comment section below. Now, from that center vent down, all the controls are the same, and I really like that. We don't have too much of a change in this 2024 redesign. Moving down to the transfer case shifter, you'll notice that the 4xe gets the same full-time 4x4 Rock-Trac transfer case that the Wrangler 392 gets. Now, this is a really nice bonus if you spend a lot of time in four-wheel drive and at speed. Now, moving under the vehicle, the biggest change besides that Rock-Trac transfer case is the new full-float rear axle, and it's only found in the Rubicon models. And it does offer a bump in the tow rating up to 5,000 pounds for the Wrangler. This new full-float heavy-duty Dana 44 features a dual-bearing unit hub that takes the weight carrying duties off the axle shaft, and that's what gives it that bump in tow rating. We mentioned a few times now that this is a 4xe model, so it only comes with the 2.0 turbo PHEV engine, backed by the 8-speed PHEV auto transmission. Plugging in the 4xe is as simple as plugging the charger into a 110 outlet and then plugging the charger into the charge port. This level 1 charger will take up to 12 hours to charge from empty. Now, you can option up to the level 2, and that needs to be wired into your house by a professional. But stepping up to that level 2 charger, you can drop your charge times all the way down to 2 hours. And that's a big improvement for an option that costs just over $600. Now, speaking of plugging things in, all 2024 Wrangler 4xEs will feature a power box, which adds 4 120 volt outlets with 30 amps of total output, allowing the battery pack to power external devices. Want to run a projection TV and screen out at your next camping trip? Yep, this will do that, along with the popcorn maker for those movie snacks. Now for us, this mid-model refresh has changed just enough to feel fresh, but not so much that it feels like a whole different vehicle. But we'd love to hear from you. What do you like about this refresh on the 2024 Wrangler? What do you dislike? Then we'd also like to hear your thoughts on friendly competition. Is that new 12-inch touchscreen, the power seats, the side curtain airbags, and that uprated tow capacity? Well, is that just Jeep's way of stepping up to the challenge that's been put forth by the Ford Bronco? Thanks for watching today. We'll see you again soon.